The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Whether you're new to sales or a lifetime veteran, the Blackbelt Sales Podcast will sharpen your sword and guide you to master the art of sales. And now, here's your host, the ninja himself, Gene Slade.
So it looks like I misspoke, Don. The mansion event is in 2 months from yesterday, not 2 weeks from yesterday.
2 months. Yeah, I did hear that. I was like checking the math. Well, something's going on here.
Yeah.
2 months, but 2 months it's a great time. That's coming right into the fall season where lots of people are thinking, "Gosh, I better up my skill set coming into the off season." And I think you should up your skill set today. But I get that sometimes we're too busy running around worrying about the moment to plan for our future. But 2 months gives you enough warning, and you can plan, put a little $1 or $2 aside for this trip, because it will carry you through the winter. It will carry you quite a bit. So I'm excited that this is coming up. I know it's going to be a big event. One of probably the bigger events we've ever done in terms of number of people, this location, and everything else. So I'm super excited about it. But what are we going to cover there? What are we going to cover in this big training session that we're putting on?
What's up, Eric? Good to see you this morning. Eric's going to be there as well. Eric is one of our certified lead ninjas, and he's actually going to be there helping us with the training, because there's going to be a lot of people at this event. And so we're going to have a couple of our certified ninjas jump in and help, especially on implementation day. So here's like the main stuff that we're going to cover at this event. And you can't cover everything at one event, right, Don? So we're going to cover the 5 steps of the sales process. The first one being the most important, which is how to establish a need for all of the stuff that you guys have got on your trucks or in your inventory list. Have you ever had clients that you're trying to sell stuff to, and they just don't seem interested in it, even though you know that it's in their best interest to go ahead and do something with it? I love how my screen freezes all the time. It's fan-friggin-tastic. But we actually are going to show you guys how to get the client to come to their own conclusion that something needs to be done without you having to really work hard at it. Okay. So that's going to be probably the most fantastic thing that you're going to learn while you're there. But we're also going to cover things. Go ahead.
That's like an epiphany when you realize, gosh, I have been telling people for years what they need to do. And people don't want to buy anything that they don't feel like they need or want, but they have to come to their own conclusion. And so much in our life, people tell us, you need this, you need to do that. And what do we do inherently is we go, hold my beer, I'll prove you wrong. That's inherent in nature of people, is don't tell me what I need. I'll go out of my way to prove you wrong. So that's what's been happening in some of your sales out there, is you've been telling people you need stuff, thinking that your authority was going to necessarily carry that. Just because who you are, they're just going to bow down and take it, buy that stuff. But they have to come to their own conclusion. And that's a big word. Even when I was training my company years ago on this, I don't know that the light bulb had gone off to me as bright as it is right now for people. We had the scripts. We certainly talked about how to do those things, but the importance that the customer come to their own conclusion. When the customer comes to their own conclusion that I ain't living in a house with this problem anymore, you really don't have to sell them anything. You really just have to get out of their way, because they're buying. They're buying now. They want it so much that you're just the person providing the service. You're not selling them anything. You're just showing them and they came to their own conclusion. When you really want something, if I go down to the dealership for a new vehicle and I really want that vehicle, did they sell that truck to me, or did I go down there and buy it? I
They
wanted
just took the order.
I want that vehicle. They didn't sell that to me. I bought it. And that's what we have to create in our industry, is people wanting the things that are on your truck, right? So,
and quick tip,
big
how you know that you've done that is the client says, what do we do about this, before you ever start talking about a problem. So we're going to show you how to get your clients to ask you, hey, what do we do about this, on every single call that you go on. Because once the client has decided that there's a problem and something needs to be done about it, man, the whole job becomes a lot easier. All right. So that's definitely number one. Some of the other things, and just some of the types of people that will be here, will be owners. You'll have managers here. You'll have technicians here, and you'll have comfort advisors or project managers or field supervisors, whatever you call that. But basically, everybody that's involved in the sales process. Sometimes we even have CSRs that end up coming out.
Certainly, and that's just the HVAC. When you kind of talk about comfort advisors and technicians. Could be plumbers. We have typically a third of the class is plumbers, electricians, and then HVAC. And I know you've actually started newly doing roofers in the roofing industry, into
pest control. I actually helped to build the sales system for the largest solar removal and replacement company in the country right now. So guys, if you're in the service field, if you go out to clients' houses, this is for you.
Yes, exactly. So, yes, we do. And people will ask, do you just cover HVAC? And truthfully, we cover a lot of HVAC. I mean, that's what your industry was, is what we grew up in, is what companies we grew and sold were. But they also did plumbing. They also had an electrical component. And so we cover plumbing, electrical areas. Water filtration systems are just huge adder that plumbers are just missing out on right now. So just learning plumbers learning water filtration will pretty much one sale pay for a trip in terms of revenue numbers.
That's really all we're talking, guys. Yeah, I mean, if you sell one HVAC system or one water filtration system with a tankless water heater more than you would have sold, that's all you've got to do to pay for the class. I mean, that's really it. Right. So the other thing that I think is important to talk about is that we're going to show you how to get more money than your competitors. Guys, when I started out my first HVAC sales job, we were by far the most expensive company in the area, by 15 or 20% higher than our next competitor. So I had to learn real quick, how do I justify a difference in price between me and somebody else? So if you're getting beat up on price, you want to be at this event, because I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to get more money than the other guys and have super, super happy customers. Because think about it. Do you always go out and buy the cheapest stuff? Why is it then that it seems like your clients always want to get stuff that's cheaper, right? So we're going to show you how to combat that, how to how to get the job when they say, hey, my neighbor just got one for thousands less. We're going to show you how to handle that as well. And that's where we separate the men from the boys. That one thing very often adds another $1 million or $2 million a year to a salesperson or technician's yearly revenue.
Right. Yeah. If you're thinking you have to be the lowest priced guy to get the order, you're not selling. Selling is when you come back and you were $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 more than other quotes, and you still got the job. That's a professional. Being the lowest cost guy to get a job is a contractor mentality. That's not what's going to make your business, to make a career, make the lifestyle that we all dream of out there. So selling is the ability to be priced a little bit higher than everybody else in your market and still get the job. and still get the job. We'll show you how to do that. I was going to ask you, when we go into establish the need for everything on the list, can we give the people an example of something like a ceiling saver, right? Could you establish the need for a ceiling saver for us? Is that a product that we would cover? And you would think, gosh, anybody can sell that. But let's hear it.
I think I'd rather give them something that is a little bit more mainstream and a little bit easier for them. Maybe like a surge protector. Why don't we do that one? Would that be okay?
Okay.
So here's how we would establish.
Well, that is an electrical. The electricians out there would love that. The HVAC guys would love that. A lot of times plumbers look at that and go, I'm not sure. But if you're a plumber, you can follow this same sort of process about PRVs. There's a comparison here too. So yeah, Gene, let's do that.
So just role play with me. So we'll set the stage that we're out at the outdoor system on an HVAC call. We're doing a tune-up or something like that, maybe even a service call, and they don't have a surge protector. Now, we establish a need through the use of questions, not talking at people. So pay attention to the questions that I ask and see how many statements I actually make through here. So Don's the customer, I'm the technician, and I'm going to go, Mr. Johnson, I saw that you don't have surge protection. Why don't you have surge protection?
I don't know. Nobody's ever mentioned it to me.
Got it. Were you aware that we get over 1.2 million cloud to ground lightning strikes a year here in this area? And when that happens, that we get in-home surges. And did you know that when you get an in-home surge, that your compressors and your motors can glow cherry red on the inside? Do you think that's good?
Can't be.
Yeah, we're on a delay today, it seems like. What do you suppose that does to the reliability of your system?
Probably hurts it.
How about the lifespan?
Can't be good for it, could it?
Have you ever purchased a new compressor?
No, never.
So then you weren't aware that a new compressor would cost you $3,500 to $4,500?
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Can you see now why our clients just get surge protection rather than replacing expensive compressors, motors, maybe even a whole system? So, guys, like, how many questions did I ask and how many statements did I make? If you go back, you'll find out that there were 0 statements. So that's an example of what Don is talking about, how we're going to teach you how to do that with all of your products. So the client comes to their own conclusion that something needs to be done, and you're not being a pushy salesperson. We call this type of selling pull selling. Mm-hmm. It's not pushy. We're pulling you to us. We're like, come here. Go ahead, Don.
Yeah, pulling you to your own conclusion. That's the light bulb moment for me is when customers believe that they have to have a surge protector or a new PRV. It's just simply, can you take care of it for me while you're here today?
Right.
That's the next question. Once they feel like they need it, that's the question that goes through their mind. Well, can you do that? Can you fix this problem for me? And isn't it wonderful if people came to you saying, can you fix this problem for me? Will you fix this problem for me? What can we do to fix this problem? It's totally different. It's pull selling. It's pulling them to get them to come to their own conclusion. It's magic. It's crazy how this one thing, if you'll go add it to what you already know, a ton. We're going to give you tons of products at this mansion of a sales training event, the examples. But what we're really going to give you is the skill that you could build it yourself and build it for products that you haven't even been introduced to yet. You don't even know exist. But when a supplier comes in and says, hey, we got this new X, you could build your own script for it once you understand the process. So we're going to give you the fish to eat for the day, but we're going to teach you how to fish so that you can do this for a lifetime. I love that. That's essentially what this is enough examples so it clicks, but then the skill set so it carries with you forever, and you're not dependent on someone else to give you scripts forever. Most of you guys hate the idea of, you mean I'm going to have to learn a script? I like to just read it. But when you're creating the scripts yourself, you absolutely love it. It's your thoughts turn into these scripts versus my thoughts or Gene's words become your script. You'll create them. Now you'll start with ours. And there's some of them that'll be like they're teaching you the process. You have to learn them. But wow, the real skill is you can now create your own product demonstration and scripts yourself. So that's a big thing of what we establish the need, of how we establish the need for everything on the list.
It's so funny you say that, Don. Guys, this really can be used for anything. And proof of that is that I had a partner one time that we were doing a live like this, and we had a class, and he said, Gene, I want you to show them that this can be done for anything. So he said, audience, just pick some sort of item, something that you want. And somebody said a drone. And literally on the fly, we established a need for a drone, like just made it up because I understand the process, right? I love how my video always freezes. It's fantastic. Mm-hmm. At least the people on Spotify can't see that. And
my
Apple
son.
Can't see it. Go ahead. What were you saying, man? We got a little bit of a delay.
My son a few years ago. Yeah, my son had to get a job. Obviously younger. He's this is several years ago, but was selling cell phone data service, not the cellular, not your cell phone itself, but the wireless internet data service, door to door. Knock on the door. I'm with and have to actually, tough job. And you could take this same process and create the sales situation for that. And we did. Every day he'd call me, and we would work on his sales skills and work through the process. Were you aware? Did you know all the different things he needed to add to his script? Because they gave him some words, but we kept growing. So we created, between he and I, kind of a sales script for selling door-to-door internet service. And he did that for a year, pretty successful, got a great job offer and moved on. And that happens. It's okay. He took those sales skills with him to his new job. And you come to this event and you go, but I'm not sure that I want to stay in this industry forever. These sales skills, once you have them, go with you everywhere. You can go and sell anything, even just good customer service. These skills will stay with you. So unless you're going to maybe work in a plant where you just don't even interact with another person next to you, these skills will go with you forever. Again, if you've got a wife and kids at home, these skills are something that will improve your ability to communicate with your family as well. So we don't teach that part, but they do. You'll see guys see that the rest of their lives are so much better because they know how to communicate and not just be telling people everything. Go tell your kids what they need to do and see what that does.
Yeah, clients don't respond very well to
past
that
a certain age at work. All right. No, clients don't, but your kids don't. Kids below a certain age, you can tell them all you want. When they pass a certain age, mine was about 12 years old. Anything for unless it was the threat of pure punishment or death to my kids.
Physical violence.
Tell them anything. They had to come to their own conclusion. Physical violence was about, if that was the only thing. Well, we know we can't use that sales skill forever. If your sales skill is threat, it's not going to work very well. And there are technicians in our world, HVAC especially, that threatening sales mentality. If you don't do what I say, you won't have air tonight. If that's your only sales skill, you're going to struggle the majority of the year. You'll have your day, you'll have your month, maybe your 2 months where you look like a superstar, but the rest of the year you're not. Let's just put it that way. But establishing the need for everything on the list, we will give you the product. We'll teach it to you. We'll role play it with you to work out the little kinks of how you say something as well at this mansion event. That's what day 3 is about, is how to say it. Not just we gave you the words on day 1, day 2. On day 3, we want you to actually have to say it to us and then say, all right, emphasize this word, not that word, and let's hear it again. And you'll get people that it'll just be like, wow, crazy that I said the same words and it sounds so different by just practicing it. So that's what day 3 on the event is about, is making you sound good. After day 1 and 2, we teach it to you. We make it sound good coming out of your mouth. So what else will the course, the class cover, Gene?
Well, and just to piggyback on what you just said, when you are trying to read or perform a script, you often sound robotic, right? You don't sound like yourself. You sound like a script. And that's what Don's talking about. On day 3, we're going to work with implementing the script so that they sound like you. All right. Some other things that are worth mentioning that we're going to cover. I know that right now, a lot of you are experiencing people wanting to put things off. Sometimes it's, an excuse about the election. Maybe they just don't have the money. Maybe they just want to put things off. We're going to show you how to get them to not put things off. All right. That's going to be a big one for all of you going into the fall, especially people in the shoulder season when they're not using their heating and air conditioning for you guys out there. We're going to talk about indoor air quality. Go ahead.
Yeah, and when we've had people's home values going up so much, they felt like I could put money into my home and it would be a good investment because the house appreciated, okay? And so people would be a little more willing. Well, if we get housing prices to flatten out or go down a little bit, people are going to be real scared or skeptical of spending any money on their house, because we've gone through a range where you could spend $30,000 and it would make your house worth $50,000 more when you go to sell it. Well, what if that's not occurring anymore? And people are like, I don't want to spend anything on this house because I'm not going to recoup it when I sell my home. Are you able to handle that objection when it starts to come up? I'm not saying it's the one that you're going to hit 15 minutes from now, but we're going to hear that in this next year, that housing prices have stabilized or flattened out, or God forbid, even going down a little bit. But people are going to be skeptical. I don't want to spend any money on my home because I won't get it back.
Yeah.
And again, we'll have to get them to believe and understand that this is important, right? This has to be done. They have to come to their own conclusion. But that's just some of the thought process that's out there as well, is when people start thinking spending money on their home is a bad investment, it gets harder to do major upgrades, right? How do we combat that, or how do we approach that?
Don, just so we stay,
what else we're going to cover?
Just so we stay fluid on this, because we do have a delay. Let's you and I both use some hand signals, like I do in training, right? When you want to add something or I want to add something, that way I can stop and we're not talking over each other. Sorry I don't know what the technical difficulty is this morning, guys. So also indoor air quality stuff for the HVAC guys. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I'm going to. There is nobody better in the world at teaching indoor air quality sales than this guy right here. Okay, who's got 2 thumbs and is the best? This guy. Right? And then the last thing that I really want. Go ahead. There's your hand. I can see it.
Well, I'm going to give you a close second, because I think this guy with these 2 thumbs do a pretty darn good job at it. But it is the same system, so I'm giving you credit for it. But there's nobody better than the 2 of us. Now, I'll put us together as a team and say there's nobody better than the 2 of us. Getting it and then implementing it, that is what we are. Incredible. So if you want to add several $100,000, maybe $1 million to your numbers just in indoor air quality, this is the class to come to. This is the class to come to.
1,000%.
My company was selling about, we were selling quite a tremendous amount of our Breathe Easy package that you and I created, that I trained my people through the years. About 800 of those packages that averaged, our average price was like $29.87 was our most popular price, and our average ticket in the indoor air quality is right at $3,000. Now, this was 4 years ago now, so there's been some inflation number changes, but still a $3,000 average ticket is a great addition to anybody in the indoor air quality.
For sure, 100%. The other thing that I think is important for us to let people know, Don, is that we will be covering closing and handling of objections. Now, I didn't say this, but you guys may not have heard of the Waste No Day podcast. Well, there's one of the hosts there. His name's Brian Burton. He's a very good salesperson. And Brian said the other day when we did a class for him that there's only two people that he's ever met or seen or heard of that handle objections better than him. And that would be Andy Elliott and then Gene Slade. So, guys, if you want to learn how to handle objections, there is no better place to come than to one of these mansion events for Lead Ninja. And I'm going to throw my phone number up right now. If you guys want information on it, all you got to do is comment below and say that you want information, or you can text me at 239-848-6533. If you want to become a master closer and learn how to handle all of the objections that any client could ever throw at you, this is where you want to be September 29th through October 3rd. And it's cheaper than it has ever been. The class in December will be double the price of this one because we should be in Florida for that one. This house that we're going to be at in September and October for this event holds more people in a better way. So we were able to reduce the pricing to about half of what it is normally. So it's almost like a BOGO or a 2-for-1. So you guys want to get your tickets now. We're 50% sold out right now. And we've got 2 months still left to the event. So there's no question that this will be sold out. It'll likely be sold out in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So get your tickets now. Don.
Right. Yeah, I'm excited for it. This is going to be a big event. We love putting these on. And people ask, when's the next one? I heard you say something like December. We're doing about 4 to 5 of these events a year, but this is the big one. Let's get really, really mindset, skill set ready for the fall season, for the winter season. And again, a lot of HVAC guys, about 60% of the people come are HVAC focused, 30% plumbing, 10% electrical, give or take a little bit on those numbers. But let's be ready for what could be a challenge. Who knows? Is today, is the weather going to be helpful for us for forever? We know it'll turn into a headwind. Will the economy change? Will the election start to throw people into a worry? And how are we going to be ready for the next challenge? What if we prepare for a really bad and it never comes around? What if we go to this class and we prepare, and you know what? The economy just stays awesome, and none of these issues ever come to pass. It's not going to hurt to be prepared and have a skill set that you can transfer. Let's prepare for the worst and be optimists when good things happen, right? Let's not be pessimists. I'll agree with that, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't be upping our skill set to be ready for what could happen, what might be a challenge someday. So I'm excited about this class. I'm excited that we already have 30 some odd people signed up, because I think that's right. Will this session hold about 60? Is that what we're saying for this event?
We somewhere between 66 to 72 people will be there. So great wow. Freezing job on the screen again. I freaking love this app or this software program. Freaking awesome. Don, that's about all I had this morning to talk about. You got anything else you want to add before we
do
wrap
these? No, we'll be back on Thursday, and maybe on Thursday we can discuss some more items that will be learned at the class. Maybe some specific objection handling, maybe some specific ways that people can, that once they get there, they'll be like, I can go back and use this. Just like you heard a surge protector today, maybe there'll be a chance on Thursday we can cover some more things that will be covered in the class. But establishing the need for everything that's on your list is a big step that you'll learn in the class.
And Don, I've always had a standing guarantee, and that is that we put our money where our mouth is. And so what that means, guys, is that I have a money back guarantee on this class. And the way that works is I truly believe, and everybody has said, that they get way more than their money's worth out of just the first day of training. So if after day one, you've come out to the class, if after day one, you don't feel like you've gotten your money's worth, all you got to do is let me know and I'll give you your money back, and you can spend the rest of the time having fun in Pigeon Forge or Gatlinburg. So we're the only guys that'll put our money where our mouth is like that. And the only reason we do that is because we know that you're not going to ask for your money back. So that's it, Don. Hey, guys, until next time, sorry about the technical issues today with the lagging and everything, and Don and I talking over each other, but hey, shit happens sometimes, right? Have an absolutely amazing day. We'll see you on Thursday or before. Love you guys. Have a great day. Peace.